me up. Okay. Well, fellas, that game felt a little pointless, didn't it? No Shedeur Sanders, so who cares, right? Let's talk about the real football talks. The Cowboys play the Raiders. All right, let's talk about Shedeur Sanders now. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna pretend like the green screen being all flaky isn't upsetting me. But welcome to the Monday Night Football post Hunnaball stream. We have yet to miss a primetime game. What is up, Muhammad? I just want the record to show RJ Bricks is here. Let's go. We got 2 Commanders fans. I want to get on his hotline. Otis, we'll get to that. We will get to that, believe me. We got a lot on deck tonight. We got to talk about Shedeur Sanders. That's a must. Levi's here. Shedeur Sanders. We got to talk about the game that was played. We got to do Hunna's hotline. We got to do Hunna's Hill. It's going to be a whole thing. But I just for 1 second want the record to show. We are closing on week 11. We have been live streaming. CJ Racers here. What is up, guys? We have been live streaming after every primetime game since the season started. We are through week 11. That is something to be applauded. Congratulations to myself for finishing it. But congratulations to you guys for hanging through. Because we are still doing this. Still doing this Hunnaball thing. So thank you, guys. We are through 11 weeks. Let's see if we can finish the season out without me, like, dropping dead. Anyways, did you hear about Marshawn Nealon? Yes, Muhammad. Yes, I heard. That was like yes, I heard about it 2 weeks ago. Very sad. Rest in peace, Marshawn Nealon. Yes. Not to be an asshole, but like, yes, I heard. But yeah, if you're just showed up, drop a like. Because we are here to talk some football, okay? He's like Jesus coming out of the tomb. Me talking about Shedeur. Yeah. No, believe me, we will. Thank God the chat's catching up. All right, there we go. I was worried for a second there. The chat wasn't showing up on the screen, but here we are. Otis gets first blood. I'm at the point where losses don't emotionally impact me, and after weeks I'm resisting, I'm all in the tank train. You know what? That's kind of where I'm at with the Giants. If you wanted to see me crash out after the Giants lost to the Packers yesterday, I'm sorry, but that wasn't what we had. It just simply wasn't what we had. So let me just make sure everything's up and running well, but it seems like everything's good. You just found out today. Well, that's a shame. That's a shame, Muhammad. Drop a like if you haven't already. I just joined my own stream to pad the viewers. So, I can see we only have 2 likes in here. So come on, fellas. But yes, Marshawn Nealon's passing away. Very sad. Like we talked about, mental health is very important. It's not something to be overlooked. And I'm glad, this is not something I say often, so get ready to clip it. I'm glad the Cowboys won. Like, this isn't like to bash on Otis or to glaze James, so to speak, but at a certain point, look, they're coming off a heartbreaking couple of weeks. Truth of the matter is, I believe their game in week 9, they had a week 10 bye, and I believe in week 9 they lost to the Cardinals. I could be misremembering that, but I'm pretty sure they lost to the Cardinals in week 9. So the Cowboys kind of needed this one. Am I ready to jump on the Cowboys bandwagon and say they did lose to the Cardinals? Am I ready to jump on the Cowboys bandwagon and be like, oh, well, the Cowboys are good now, watch out, Super Bowl? No. Unlike Troy Aikman, who's admittedly a hopeful Cowboys homer. Okay, I'm not going to knock the guy for being, excited. But this was an interesting game to watch, nonetheless. Considering 33-16, I think there's a lot to unpack here on both sides of the ball. And Otis asked yesterday, he said, what would you do to fix the Raiders? And my stupid ass said, quarterback, draft a quarterback. Hello, if you don't have a quarterback, you may as well not even try. No, man. No, man. I don't want to sound like Troy Aikman's puppet here, but the Raiders need to fix that offensive line. They need to. Am I saying Geno's the answer? Of course not. Geno Smith is not a good quarterback, but he has no time. And more importantly, Ashton Jeanty has no time. Ashton Jeanty, in case you missed it, get a load of that stat line. Huh? You can't make this up. They took him 6th overall. They could have taken the 2nd best offensive lineman at 6, but they went running back. This is a team. The first quarter was fun. After that, it went downhill first. Yes. Hank's fantasy team is 6-5. Can we talk about the Bears are first in the division? We will talk about the Bears. Believe me, Levi. I'm excited. The Bears are the 3 seed, and I don't know what to do with Roma Dunze and fantasy. So when should we do Hunna's hotline? I want to give my take on college QB education, Hunna. Well, we'll do that near the end. We got to do Hunna's Hill first. We got to do Hunna's Hills first, but we will do Hunna's hotline at the end. Because I feel like that segment, I don't like rushing through it, but I feel like it drags a little bit just because it's 2 people talking. It's tough for me to say in the chat, but we're figuring it out. It will happen, though. It will happen, Otis. We're opening Hunna's hotline tonight. It will be open for venting. Join the Discord if you haven't already. I'll drop a link, but I think everyone in here has joined the Discord. Since when was beating the Raiders a flex? Exactly. I wouldn't have been as angry about the loss if they didn't blow it out on my birthday. That's right. Happy birthday to CJ Racer Gaming. That's on me for not bringing that up off rip. Happy birthday to CJ Racer. Okay, I got to be better at that. That's on me again, fellas. Let me copy the Discord link really quick. They moved JPJ to guard for some reason. Yeah, they're all over the place. I'm not going to... Like, I don't know their offensive line by name, but if you can't run, block, or pass, like, that's a pet peeve of mine, right? And I feel like you guys can agree with that to a certain extent. And sorry if I missed some chats there. Offensive linemen like run blocking. That's a very well-known thing because they're going forward. They're on the attack. And if you can't run block well, when you clearly have a talent in the backfield... Troy Aikman kept saying it. It's like, poor Chip Kelly. How's he supposed to do this? Someone please get Pete Carroll fired. It's not even a Pete Carroll problem. And this is why I'm so hesitant and reluctant, synonyms, to have the Giants bring on a coach with experience, a culture guy. Because Pete Carroll is that culture guy. Chip Kelly has head coaching experience. He does. He has national championship experiences. These are real things. But clearly Chip Kelly is not the answer at head coach. Clearly... Pete Carroll's probably never going to be the coach he was in Seattle, and that's fine, but it's the Raiders. It would be nice if the Raiders were good for once, and I hope Otis, and I forget if Sniperway's a Raiders fan, I'm assuming by the way he's talking he is, but I would be fun if the Raiders were good. And I say that as a Giants fan, an impartial Giants fan with little to no skin in the game. I mean, I have Brock Bowers in fantasy, so I was happy to see him get some PPR work. I also had George Pickens, so good night for me. But this isn't about it. RJ's got to go. It's all right, RJ. Drop a like, man. Thanks. Let me see if I missed anything. JPJ was supposed to be a generational center. Yeah, and drafting it all. Exactly. He was supposed to be good. I remember hearing about him. I wanted the Giants to get him because you can never have too many interior offensive linemen. That's how the Eagles built such a stout group. Interior offensive linemen, tush push, strong quarterback. You build the O-line first. You get the trenches developed. Kind of why I'm a Joe Shane guy, but I'm not talking about the Giants right now. I just feel like the Raiders, 2-8 has never looked so great, right? That's what I named this title. 2-8 has never looked so great. And I just kind of feel like it's a head scratcher trading Jacoby Myers. And I think the person to point fingers at, frankly, is their GM. I believe his first name's John, but Mr. Spytech. His name's Spytech. You draft a running back 6th overall, and you can't play defense. And you can't block, and you don't have a quarterback, and even with Jacoby Myers, they didn't have talented wide receivers. I don't want to sit here and play hindsight Hunna, but Tedero McMillan was on the board, and like a lot of draft guys were like Ashton Janty, great talent. Ashton Janty, top 3 talent in this draft, along with Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter, and I get that. He's a blue chip running back, so to speak. But if you said before the draft, like, these are objective facts. These are objective facts about Ashton Janty's profile. He played at Boise State. That's it. That's all you need. He played at Boise State. He also, I'm not going to say Ashton Janty's slow, but I don't think he's, and we've talked about this before, I don't think he's nearly the prospect that Saquon was or that Bijan was. Or even, I'll say it, I'll pound the table right now. Do you guys think, this is probably going to be a little bit more of a hot take because I don't watch college, so I'd be curious to hear your guys' opinion. Do you think Ashton Janty or Jahmyr Gibbs was a better prospect out of college? Because in hindsight, it sure feels like one's better than the other. And I obviously, a good offensive line is textbook to having good run game, right? But it just is a head scratcher move in hindsight. Like, people thought the Raiders were sneaky good. They're like, Bowers, revitalized Geno Smith, Ashton Janty. And it really just comes down to whether or not you have a good offensive line. Look at the Chargers. They can't block for Herbert. They lose. It's that simple. Offensive line cannot be understated how important it is. Raiders were so good. AFC West will be fun for the next couple of years. Yeah. I'm not rooting against the Raiders, and we'll do a Cowboys thing as well, but I want to stick on the Raiders because Otis is here and Sniper Way is here again. Not sure if Sniper Way is a Raiders fan, but yeah. Ew, Boise State. I don't like Pete, but this team sucks. Give him time. Yeah. I would crash out if we took T-Mac out of all Arizona Wildcats, keep him away from my team. I get that, Otis. You have your own personal vendetta against Tedero McMillan, but I'm here to argue that a wide receiver, especially a talented X-wide receiver that can stretch the field out, is a lot more valuable than a running back who can't get some space behind a good offensive line. Gibbs has the benefit of one of the best lines. I totally get that. I totally agree, John. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is Jahmyr Gibbs had a profile of being a crazy fast, like textbook speed running back, right? And Janty wasn't that. And I know it's a lot more. Running back scouting is a lot more than they got to be fast. Obviously, Ashton Janty, great balance, great center of gravity, very strong, broke a ton of tackles, had a ton of broken tackles after contact. I thought he should have got the Heisman. All right, I'm not an Ashton Janty hater, but I do think taking a Boise State running back 6th overall when you have so many other holes is a bad move. And I'm not the first person to say that. I'm certainly not going to be the last person to say that. But I think when you look at the Raiders, I think this is a big year to take a step back and just reset and kind of go back to, I hate saying it, but the hog mollies, the traditional football values, the traditional football positions. Because if not, it doesn't matter if you have Brock Bowers out there, or Tyler Lockett, who they didn't go into the season with, or Ian Thomas, Jack Beck. Who did the Raiders even draft this season? Because I feel like none of them, I'm assuming it was mostly on the defensive side of the ball. And forgive me, I don't know a ton of Raiders defenders. Draft season. I'm such an idiot. Draft. There you go. Raiders draft tracker, right? So they went Janty in the first round. I don't need cookies right now, Raiders. Ashton Janty, right? Obviously, he was good. A running back at 6, though, he better be good. He better be good if you're taking him at 6. Jack Beck, or Besh, whatever. Great story. Happy to see him drafted, right? Great story. But he's not making an impact. He's not making an impact. So it sucks, but, you know, he's a second-round pick. When you're the Raiders, you can't afford to miss on your second-round pick. Again, it was a later pick. I'm not sure what happened to their first second-round pick, but it was gone. You can't be the Raiders and miss on a second-round wide receiver. Darian Porter, I don't know how he's played, okay? Caleb Rogers, it looks like they shored up that offensive line. Pick 34, not too bad. Compensatory pick from the Dolphins, not too bad. Or wait, yeah. Like, they clearly tried here. Like, I'm sitting here talking about how they didn't address the offensive line. They clearly did. They're just not making an impact. Sometimes it works on paper. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes you get the analysts to congratulate you and high five around. It's like, let's go. We got Cam Miller. But if the players aren't good, and again, it takes offensive line time to develop. It really does. But the cracks are showing. The cracks are showing. I was a little unfamiliar with the Raiders draft class. I guess I'm wrong here. But if you're the Raiders, it's kind of like, geez, do you give up on Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant already? Already? Maybe. Probably not. It's a tricky spot when you can't develop talent. That's the exact place the Giants are at. If you can't develop talent, you're in a bad spot. So, I don't know, man. Fixing the Raiders seems like a real headache, and I feel like the burden is on me now to answer the question of what to do with the Raiders. Because you go skill position, first 2 picks, they better work out, man. They just better. So, Janty was a better prospect than Gibbs out of college. Janty broke single-season rushing record for college. I think something like that. Should have won the Heisman over T. Hunt. Gibbs was a major reach at the time. People didn't see him as a 3-down back. We got T4. Okay. You get Geno Smith for president. Yeah. Okay. Then like I said, I didn't watch a ton of college, so I can own that one. I can own that I was wrong about the Gibbs to Janty comp. I just think when comparing the two, it's just tough to see the value in Vegas right now. I don't want to harp too much on the offensive line. You guys get it, but ultimately, their defense looked super, super bad. Like, it didn't look good. It didn't look good, man. And that safety in the fourth quarter was just a tough look. They don't have the discipline. They don't have the coaching. They don't have the play calling. I'm not here to say Pete Carroll needs to go, but Chip Kelly's probably not the answer. Maybe I'm wrong, but another problem later down the line is Carroll's 74 years old now. Yeah, he's old. He's old, man. He should look into having a 25-year-old girlfriend. He's old, man. We traded way too many picks and pushed all our seconds and thirds, 5 and 7s. There you go. Okay, I didn't know that. It was kind of a head scratcher following that draft. It's like they had a low second-round pick, but they had a couple comps. It just, whatever, man. It sucks because the thing with the Giants, and I don't want to talk about the Giants too much, but the Giants have talent, right? And you look at the Raiders, it's like Max Crosby. Oh, no one's going to say Max Crosby's bad, okay? No one's going to say Max Crosby's bad. I want to say Jeremy Chin's having a decent season. I feel like Tyree Wilson's gotten involved a little. 2 sacks, a little. I got to follow this team a little bit better. But the Raiders just have not hit on their drafts. People rip on Joe Shane all the time. Let's look at the Raiders drafts over the past few years. Like, this is probably a better class, right? Bowers, JPJ, of course, he's not really panning out. Dylan Lobb, who's now a Cowboy, and he torched him. Not torched him, but he did catch a couple passes. Tyree Wilson, Michael Mayer, like Byron Young. I get this isn't all under the same regime, but you need impact players, man. You do. And got Alex Leatherwood. He did nothing. Gosh, I remember that. But no, man, it's just, there he is, Ruggs. I just feel for the Raiders because they just can't catch a break in the draft. Other than Brock Bowers, it just hasn't felt like a lot of just like set and forget talent. You know, and ideally as a team, you want to have just a cleaner draft. So it sucks with the Raiders because it's like you want to rebuild, but you also you need to hit on your picks. What's up, Hunnaball? If Jets get number 1, if they could flip it for a first and 27 and Crosby. I don't know why they would. They could. They should probably take a quarterback if the Jets have one. They probably should. You know, fix the Raiders, a good kicker. I thought Daniel Carlson was good. Is Daniel Carlson having a bad season? Every time I look, Daniel Carlson's knocking kicks. Or is that like some bit about how the Raiders always take kickers too high? Either way, I'm with it. Kelly should have been fired yesterday. Give Pete one more year. Exactly. JPJ is great. We'd have to win that Broncos game if he stayed healthy. Don't disrespect JPJ. Okay, I'm hearing about him moving. I'm not going to sit here and act like I watched the trench play, okay? I only watch the trench play when it's the Giants, okay? I got a lot to keep up with. Sure about Byron Young pick in 2023 is hilarious. They took the wrong one. They put the wrong name on the card. That's what I mean. So I think if you're looking fundamental Raiders issues, they don't draft well. Or maybe they don't develop talent well. It's a chicken or the egg situation. That JPJ did pan out with and is good. He's just beefing with Pete. Okay. All right. So they've had 2, maybe 3 good picks over the last few seasons. Like, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if DeCamarion Richardson is a starter. Tell me if I'm wrong here. Tell me if Darian Porter's having a good season. Okay? Because Ashton Janty can't even break free. And I think it's not that Ashton Janty's bad. I don't want that to be misconstrued. It's just that he's not doing his job because he can't get through the gaps. I just lost my train of thought there because he can't get through the gaps. There's no blocking. I'm not the first to say that. Okay. Also, Geno sucks. We know this, right? Geno, again, we need to make a tier. Genuine. The thing about Hunna's Hill is there's no integrity. We don't really. It's kind of just vibes, honestly. But if it were up to me, it is up to me. But if I wanted to do it differently, I would do a tier of quarterbacks that are purely team dependent. And I think we can all kind of put together who's in that tier. I don't want to do that because it would really just reduce the whole process. And it would make this reactive Hunna's Hill a lot less fun. But quarterbacks dependent on environment. Let's do it, right? Darnold, who's good. He's good. Geno Smith, I'll say it. Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff. I don't want to say Baker. And a bunch of guys after that. Dan Jones, who we missed this week. It was tough watching football without the promise of Dan Jones, but we made it through, guys. We survived a week without Dan Jones. And I feel like if we did that, it would be a lot more clear of where NFL QBs stand, because if football's a team game, I'm not knocking these guys, but they clearly need the help to excel. Purdy, another guy. Just kind of looking through. And then after that, they're just kind of bad quarterbacks, right? There's not a lot to get excited about after that. I mean, Michael Penix is dropping really low. Oh, man. Richardson has had 2 tackles all year. Yeah, so there you go. That JJM was going to be on his own 9 tier. He is. We're doing that later. We have not done Hunna's Hill. We are going to do a whole 9 tier. I like that. But it's not going to be very high. Raiders are also new to Vegas. We don't know how much money the owners actually put in the team after a huge move from one state to the other. I'll tell you how much. Not a lot. That stadium was mostly publicly funded. I know this doesn't have a ton to do with the football team, but let's look at this real quick. Raiders stadium funding, right? Look at this. The team contributed $1.25 billion, which is a lot. The public portion was $750 million. That's not nothing, okay? That's a lot. It is being repaid over 30 years. It is a part of the ongoing debate of the use of taxpayer money for sports facilities. As we all know, stadiums do not bring that much foot traffic to an area, especially when that area is downtown Las Vegas. I digress, though. Penix days might be numbers, 3rd ACL tear. Yeah, another quarterback that's not panning out, along with JJM and Geno Smith. But, you know, in the last 10 years of Raiders drafts, only 7 Raiders are still a starter in the league, worst by far in the league. And I think it's a cop-out, but it's the problem. You need to draft better. John Spytek, you need to draft better. And that's a frustrating thing, because it's like, again, like I said, it's the chicken or the egg. Is it that we can't develop talent or that we can't find the right talent? A lot of people are way too reductive in this process. It's like, oh, they don't draft good players. It's like, hold on now. Maybe they're not being coached properly. Maybe the culture's not there. And you don't know what the issue is. Maybe it's Mark Davis and his stupid haircut. Maybe. Who knows? It's probably a little bit of everything. And it sucks. The Raiders are like the Giants. They have a solid history. They shouldn't be bad, but they are. They're really bad. Both the Raiders and the Giants are 2-8. I believe the Raiders play the Giants at some point in the season, and I will tell you that will be game of the year. Yep. Week 16, TBD. It might get flexed to Sunday Night Football, so watch out. Browns and Raiders have the same issue. I disagree. I disagree with that. I think the Browns are actually drafting pretty well, at least this last class. I thought the Browns draft was pretty solid. Okay, let's look at the Browns class. I think the Browns had a pretty good draft class when you just tear it down to the studs, right? Mason Graham, he's not really putting too many numbers on the board, but I could see Mason Graham getting a lot better, right? Obviously, a nose tackle is not going to get a ton of sacks. Okay, Schwessinger's been a good pick. Judkin's been a good pick. Fannin, been a good pick. Gabriel, he is a starting quarterback. He is their starting quarterback, okay? Dylan Sampson, good pick. Shedeur Sanders, come on. Obviously, 2024 is a different story. And because they got decimated by the Watson trade. The Watson trade is what's screwing the Browns here. They haven't had this is their first year of the first round pick since 2021, where they took Greg Newsome, which, didn't pan out. I'm not saying these are like stud draft classes, but I think the Browns are kind of turning it around. Andrew Berry might, be better. That's actually really good. Most of the time, owners spend rarely anything. Most stadiums are 70%. I do agree, Otis. I do agree with that. Most of the time, it is more publicly funded. But $725 million of Raider money or Vegas money, that's a lot. That's still not nothing. It's because they made such an elaborate, bloated stadium. We didn't need that. We didn't need all that. Well, I definitely didn't forget there was a game tonight. Yeah, seriously. It was still reeling in the Shedeur. Raiders fans are still in Oakland anyway, so they're probably not too mad. Browns are a significantly better spot than the Raiders. Yeah, exactly. Significantly. And they have the Jags first round pick next year. Let's not forget. Damn, I'm thirsty. Sorry, I'm drinking so much water. I don't know why. Did we talk about Shedeur entering the game last night? We did, but don't worry. We'll talk about it more. But I want to finish with the Cowboys really quick. We've talked about the Raiders. It's doom gloom. They can't draft for anything. Let's talk about the Cowboys, right? Dak played well. Dak is a quarterback that plays well most of the time. Straight up. He's not bad. He's excellent for fantasy. Okay, they were able to run the ball efficiently. Javonte Williams, 4.2 yard average. Malik Davis, 5 yard average. Hunter Lupke, that's my name, not Lupke, 5 yard average. And Jaden Blue didn't suit up. Don't know what's going on over there. And then he was able to get his top targets involved. CeeDee Lamb had 7 targets, 5 grabs, 66 yards in a tub. And should have had 2 tubs, honestly. George Pickens, 144, and a touchdown. Sick. George Pickens is great. George Pickens, man, I hope you guys got him in fantasy in one league or another. He is so fun. Like, I that's not news to anyone, right? It's George Pickens, but he doesn't go down. It's crazy. It feels like he's just taking advantage of these mismatches. And that's another thing. The Raiders defense, man, they looked like they just got bullied by George Pickens alone. George Pickens refuses to go down. He has no cause for caution. Nothing. There was that deep pass, I want to say in the second quarter, that went to George Pickens that went incomplete, and the corner went down injured, and George just got up and just kind of glanced at the guy. The corner was injured, trying to defend George Pickens. The ball kind of went more towards the corner. George had to play defense, but still. George Pickens is fun. That's not news. Jake Ferguson getting some targets. Like, Dak threw it 32 times, and they're up 24-9 at the half. 9. Mind you, Dak also fumbled. Okay, and the Cowboys defense, hate him or love him, they played well. Okay, Deron Bland is back. He looked good. Ezeraku, I thought he got a sack. Apparently not. I thought he got a sack. Anyways, or am I thinking of someone else? Oh, you know what? I was thinking of, who was I thinking of? Oh, I was thinking of Osa. Osa, they paid him his money, and he's doing it. Quinnen Williams clearly making an impact, a sack and a half. Now, are the Cowboys' moves going to thrust them towards a Super Bowl? Of course not. However, their defense looked better. They had one of the worst defenses in the game. Their defense looked better today. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Did they ever say why CD and Pickens were benched in the first drive? I don't think so. The reporters, they couldn't stop talking about it on the broadcast. The reporters basically straight up asked Brian Schottenheimer out of the half. He just snubbed the answer. If I had to take a guess, I think they were just doing some, some like procedural planning. She's like, yeah, it's the Raiders. Let's make sure that we have the game plan and game script drawn up. Maybe the game script was just to run the ball. I didn't see the first drive, but I know George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb weren't involved. But Andy Sam's a pessimistic Browns fan. That's completely fair. That's completely fair to be. In my opinion, if you're one of the top QBs in the draft this year, the best place by far is Cleveland. Not horrible O-line, wash, but experienced receivers and an elite defense. Yeah. And when you compare it to the Raiders, which, you know, they have a few holes to plug for sure. And who else would be picking? The Jets? Like, sorry, John R., but, like, man, the Jets, like, they don't have the blocking, they don't have the infrastructure, and they have a defensive head coach. Hank has given up on Jalen Hurts being a good fantasy option. He's now on the Dak train. Yeah, I don't blame you. Jerry was just smiling through his teeth. Tonight, Jerry gets to go to bed thinking he's smarter than everyone. And we didn't really talk too much about the Cowboys trades, so I'll just give you my loose opinion on it because, you know, why not? I think they made I didn't like the moves. I didn't like the moves at all. I didn't like... I thought they overpaid for Quinnen Williams. Clearly, he's playing well, so it's working out. But I thought they overpaid for Quinnen Williams. And I think it's easy to point fingers and be like, well, they should have signed Micah Parsons. Let's live in a world where they didn't sign Micah Parsons. I think they just strictly overpaid for Quinnen Williams. And the fact that that was Jerry's like big move, I don't know. I'm not big on trading a 1 for a nose tackle. I'm just not. Or a 3 tech. I get confused. But I'm not big on that, frankly. John, is their defense better or is it just because they're going against the Raiders? Good question, and we will find out. I believe the Cowboys have the Eagles next week. Yeah, they have the Eagles, so we'll find out. The Cowboys have a gauntlet, and that's why I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here for the Cowboys, but they've got some tough sledding ahead. Right? They're against Philly. They're against Kansas City, who can never be ignored. That's Thanksgiving, by the way. Post Malone's doing the halftime show, if you didn't hear. Then they got Detroit, which, oh, man. Detroit, if nothing else, they will be able to block the Cowboys D-line, I think. And if they can do that, Jared can light it up. So I think the Cowboys will lose that game. Okay. Then we get another Cowboys in primetime game. We got 3 straight standalone Cowboys games, by the way. 3 straight, right? Then they play 9 at home versus Minnesota. That's going to be an interesting one. The Cowboys can win, but again, that's in a month. Okay, we'll figure that out when the time comes. Then they close the season a little more easily, right? They get the Chargers. I think that's a win. I think the Chargers might lose every game from here on out, genuinely, unless they play the Raiders, which, you know, they might beat the Raiders. Commanders, you know, whatever. And Giants. Who cares, right? So I don't think the Browns O-line is that bad. Eminem's doing the Detroit halftime show. Cool. For real, Jets O-line is promising. Yeah, that's right. They do have Membu. You're right. Promising is different than good, though, and I think the Browns just have a bona fide good offensive line. And Myles Garrett is on pace for a Defensive Player of the Year season, which is so funny. So hilarious. Giants getting their lick back week 18. That's going to be... The Giants are going to have the number 1 pick, and then they're going to beat the Cowboys in week 18 to drop down to, like, number 5. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be great. I can't wait. How Otis would rank QB-needy teams. Browns, Saints, Jets, and then Raiders. Yeah. How is the Saints cap situation? I want to talk more about the Cowboys, but I'm just curious. I want to see the Saints. Have they like finally made it out of the woods with this whole like cap hell they've been in? 11 mil in cap space this year. There's still 12 in the hole next year. Great. And let's just say they've made some cuts, right? I would like to see them cut Taysom Hill. He's fun, but like, let's call it, right? He's got a void year, so yeah, they'll probably drop him. Chase Young, wow, god damn, dude. Probably should have moved off Olave, but again, you know, they could probably get out of this. That's what I don't get about the Saints. It's like, just get out of cap hell, man. Your team's not good. And then 2027, it finally catches up to them. So I think if you draft a rookie quarterback, if you're the Saints, and you just make some moves, you know, build out that O-line a little bit. I don't know how Fuaga's playing, but I hope he's playing well. And, you know, build it out. We'll see how the Saints go. Easy win against the Vikings. We have very pessimistic fans in this chat, and I respect it and agree. I mean, the Giants are going to lose every game for the rest of the season. Who cares? Giants not going to have the number 1 pick. Dart will get at least 2 to 3 more wins unless we shut him down. Nah, that's fair. That's fair. Then in that case, let's get our get back against Dallas. Huzzah. My Hydro Flask is almost empty. And when it is, I'll be able to just lock in and not drink water. I don't know why I'm so dehydrated, man. Drink some water if you haven't already. One time a girl that I liked, her catchphrase was stay hydrated. God, that girl broke my heart. That girl hurt me more than most breakups I've ever had. Let's not get off topic, guys. Come on. Let's keep it to football talk, guys. Come on. I think we still owe Michael Thomas money. Yeah, let's see, actually. Let's find out really quick. Okay, might be Mike. Can't guard Mike. I don't see him. I could be wrong, though. Maybe it's just not showing up on Over the Cap. Oh, here we go. Dead cap. Nope. 36 to Derek. Tyrann Matthews still getting paid. That's hilarious. Shout out Ryan Ramchick. He was good for a little bit. Rashid Shaheed. They got rid of that contract. Also, Rashid Shaheed was so close to catching a touchdown yesterday. He was this close. But I'm blanking on the fella's name. I can't remember. On the corner on the Rams. Made a hell of a play on it. Perfect pass. Do you think the Bears will make the playoffs? I do. I do. Because, I mean, well, I do, but not certainly. Levi really wants to talk about the Bears. I just want to close on the Cowboys really quick, and then we'll do like an overall playoff look. I think if you're the Cowboys, the blueprint to win is find bad teams to play. So we'll find out who they are, and I'm really curious to see this new look team against a like contender, and we'll see that over the next few weeks. But overall, Cowboys fans are allowed to be happy. No one is happier tonight than Jerry Jones. Okay, the defense played better. Dak didn't turn it over. It feels like it's coming together. Would Micah Parsons have helped this team a lot? Oh, for sure. Do they still have a losing record? Yes. But they can compete with anyone. That's what I'll say about Dallas. They can compete with anyone. Will they win? I don't know. But they can compete with any team in the league, top to bottom. And they beat the Raiders. 2-8 has never looked so great. All right, let's look at the playoff picture. We'll do that. Then we got to do Hunnis Hill. Slant Boy's a crazy nickname. I loved it. That was so funny. All time, like I think he broke the receptions record, and they call him Slant Boy. So funny. Giants won't be number one pick because Titans ain't win another game. Could you imagine if the Titans went 1-16, and I was like this close to calling it? I would have been this close, man. That stupid Cardinals game, man. They should not have won that game. Not to dunk on Ann Volek, so I don't think it's here, but man. Anyways, what else did we say? We're getting our get back versus Dallas and Washington. Hopefully. I just shook off a yawn. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm not even pro tanking, but I would like us to get a high draft pick and trade down. We'll see. Rather the Giants win 3 or more wins this season so they can tie last year and show improvement. That's true. That's true. I mean, no matter what, Mike Kafka is not going to get the next job, so there's really not a lot culture-wise. But hey, you know what? We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Let's forget about the Giants, the team with the worst record in the NFC right now. Okay, let's do a playoff look, right? The NFC is a little more interesting than the AFC, in my opinion, so I want to look at them first. Eagles are the 1 seed. The Eagles keep finding ways to win games. I'll say this about the Eagles. They better get that bye. They better get that bye. Because if the Eagles play in the wild card, it is very possible they can lose. The Eagles, not to sound all like negative, right? But the Eagles could lose to the Packers. I don't think they would, but they could. They could lose to the Niners. They certainly could lose to Detroit. The Panthers might have a miracle in them. Okay. But if they were the 2 seed, let's just say the Rams and the Eagles flipped, right? Which they can't because the Eagles have the tiebreaker over the Rams. But let's just say the Eagles and the Rams flipped, right? The Rams win 1 more game than the Eagles. Just for a thought experiment, right? The Eagles would play the 7 seed. Right now, that's San Fran. I don't know, man. San Fran, like, they're beat up. They're injured. I don't think they're incredible, but it's a winnable game. I just have no faith in this Eagles offense, along with most Eagles fans. So the Eagles are the 1 seed, but not a very strong 1 seed. The Rams, I'd say, honestly, right now are probably the best team in the NFL. The Rams are red hot. That was a great game against the Seahawks. Stafford is still going to be best on Hunnis Hill. Spoiler alert. He has yet to do anything worth dropping him down. Not that Sam Darnold has done a lot to drop himself down either, besides throwing 4 interceptions. So, you win some, you lose some. Tampa. Looks like they're going to, well, again, I was going to say, looks like they're going to win the NFC South. Panthers are hot on their tail. Tampa went from a bona fide Super Bowl contender to could lose the South to the Panthers. Wow. How the tables have turned. The NFL is crazy. Bryce Young's going to drop off Jalen Hurts in the wild card. Could you imagine? Would there be anything better than the Panthers winning a playoff game in Philly? Just the thought of that makes me so happy I want to jump through my ceiling. That would be hilarious. Bryce Young, Rico Dowdle, and Derek Brown. I don't even know if he's still on the Panthers, but Derek Brown going into Philly and beating the defending champs. Man, come on, Panthers. One more game. And I just kind of skipped over talking about the Bears. That's funny. Levi's been asking about the Bears. I just skipped over it. The Bears, man, they're finding ways to win games. You know, they're a game ahead of the stupid Packers. And if you ask me, like, look, if the Bears play the Packers, which they will, obviously. I don't know. Have they already? Have the Bears already played the Packers? I feel like once. They have not played the Packers. I'm very excited for this game. Because I think the Bears can beat the Steelers. I truly do. I think the Bears can beat the Steelers. I don't know if they will, because they're really squeaking out these games against pretty mediocre teams. But wins are wins. Wins are wins. Look, they beat the Raiders by 1. Come on. That's a good team. Commanders by 1. That's a good team. Saints by 12. Good team. God, man. These are like the least impressive wins ever. And you guys know how I feel about Caleb Williams. Fun in fantasy, but not great to watch, man. Dan Orlovsky's evolving into a problem solver. That's a bit of a reductive take, but whatever. They, you know, sure, if you say so. Steelers should be a win, though. And then you go into Philly on Black Friday. That's going to be a big test. And to be honest with you, I think from Pittsburgh on, the Bears have a gauntlet. So as much as I want to be like, oh, the Bears, fun story, and they are fun to watch, hate it or love it, they are fun to watch. I would like to see the Bears host a playoff game. That would be awesome. And I want to find out, Caleb Williams, he has 2,300 passing yards, which means, what's his average? What's his average? Is he on pace for 4,000? 4 Bills? Doesn't seem like it. 2,300? How many games they played? They've played in 10. So he's averaging about 230 a game with about, all right, I'm pulling up the calculator. Hold on. He's averaging about 230 a game with about 6 games left. 6 or 7 games left. 7 games left. There you go. 230 times 7. Whoops. God damn it. Come on. Times 7. That's 1610. Add that with his current rate of 23. It's not going to get there. He's not going to get there. Okay. I didn't add the 29. There's a shot. There's a shot. All right. In his average. There's a shot. Click on Caleb. Okay. It shows projected. Okay. Let's see. Let's find out. He is projected just short. Just short. That's actually the exact number I landed on. Not really. I was 20 behind. But he is projected to be just short of 4,000. That is interesting. Will he do it? I hope so. I think the Bears are going to be down in a lot of these games, so I think he's going to have to. But good call on that, Mahi. Bucks play the Rams next week, so there's a real world where they're both 6-5 next week. Oh, yeah. Did I miss anything? Oh, yeah. Stat Padford Vulture 2 touchdowns for my boy Kyron Williams. Yeah, seriously. Stafford, the mobile quarterback. Yeah, we'll look at next week's games, but that is an interesting matchup. I didn't know that. Bucks Rams playoff rematch of, I want to say 2 years ago? Maybe 2 years ago, playoff rematch, something like that. Very good teams. Otis throwing his playoff prediction. Colts get the bye. Nice. Pats, Broncos, Ravens, Bills, Jags, Chargers, Rams, Eagles, Bucks, Lions, Seahawks, Bears, Panthers. I'd like all of that. I think that's a lot of fun. Otis, if that happens in real life, I'll be happy. Why not? Of course, not thrilled to see the Broncos in the big dance, but imagine that. The Chiefs missed the playoffs in favor of the Jags. It can happen. Hey, we all know. Gale reminds us every night. The Jags did beat the Chiefs fair and square. So I think if we're looking down the pike of the Bears, I think we'll be talking about how they put together some wins. 7-3 is not nothing. If they can make it out of this gauntlet, man, gosh, this is going to be wishful thinking. If they can make it out of this gauntlet, 5-2, that's not going to happen. Let's go 4-3. 4-3. Let's say they take the Steelers. Let's say they take the Browns. Let's say they split the Packers and then take one of these 2 games, right? 4-3. That puts the Bears at a healthy 11-6. It's a playoff team. That's an 11-6 playoff team for the Bears. And if that does happen, I think Caleb will get into 4,000. Hey, man, we'll see it. We'll see it. Let's talk about the AFC now. Let's talk about the AFC. I think it's interesting to look down the pike of these schedules, though, because it's very easy to be reactive and be like, oh, this team won and this team lost. Thus, that's all we need to care about. But if we look down the pike, we got to play future tellers a little bit. We got to play fortune tellers. That's the word. Then we look at the AFC, right? Broncos are the 1 seed. Why are the Broncos the 1 seed? Why are the Broncos the 1 seed? The Broncos aren't even good. The Broncos aren't even good. And we know it. We know this. We know the Broncos aren't even good. And yet they're the 1 seed in the AFC because the Colts were on bye. Man, I hate that. I hate everything about it. Bo Nix. You know what I realized? And let me just respond to Hank real quick. Saints taking a trade down, taking a D defensive end in the first, getting an O lineman in the second would be cool because we aren't a damn sophomore QB away from winning a Lombardi. When you put it like that, big picture, they probably should go trench play. Just build out that talent. Get more just talented, good players. You can never go wrong with taking the best player available, even if you need a quarterback, genuinely. What Bo Picks does at the 1 seed. I know, it's crazy. I hate it. Here's what I was going to say. I got into football in 2012. Basically, I got into football because the Giants had won the Super Bowl. And I was like, this team's cool. Eli Manning. Nice. I'll pick the Giants. I'm starting to think, and I realized this yesterday. If I watched football like my whole life, and I was the know-it-all that I am today, I probably would hate the Giants. Because the Giants, when they won their... Which I hate the Giants now, so hey, funny how that works. When the Giants won their Super Bowl... I didn't realize how improbable that was. I didn't realize they had, this is a true fact, by the way, that they had the 32nd graded pass blocking offensive line on PFF. Worst pass blocking offensive line in the NFL. The Giants' leading receiver was Hakeem Nicks, or maybe it was Cruz. My point is that one of the Giants' leading receivers was an undrafted free agent out of UMass. Eli Manning was their quarterback. Eli Manning, who, had 2 really great seasons. Love Eli. But if I was watching football when the Giants won in 2011, and I was the know-it-all I am today, I would have been shaking my head the whole time. I would have said, this team's not even good. This quarterback is not elite. I don't like watching this team, and I hope they don't keep winning. That is how I feel about the Denver Broncos. That's where I was going with that. Because as a football fan who's been watching the games, who has been watching Denver squeak by, I don't care for watching them. They suck. They suck to watch. They're a good defense, sure, but Bo Nix is not good. I hate Sean Payton. He seems like an asshole, classless, but not surprised. Their offense just isn't that exciting. Evan Ingram. Now J.K. Dobbins is hurt, so they can finally give R.J. Harvey the rope. You know what I mean? The rope is the wrong term. Give him some leash, some line. I don't know. Unleash R.J. Harvey. I don't know. Couldn't figure out the metaphor. Lorenzo's here. But I just think that the Broncos are a team in a league of their own. And not even, actually. The Broncos are very much the team. They say in the first line, or like Sam Elliott's soliloquy in The Big Lebowski, which any Big Lebowski reference in the chat will be welcome with open arms. But they call the dude in The Big Lebowski, if you haven't seen it, this is going to make no sense. But they call the dude the perfect man for his time. He is exactly a byproduct. This is more of a, that is what the line is, right? A little more of a paraphrase. Basically, he is exactly the byproduct of where society and culture is at. That is the Broncos. The Broncos are the dude of the NFL. They have a good defense, a really strong supporting cast, a QB who's not that great to anybody who watches the games. And you know who else is like that? The Colts. The Steelers. The Steelers defense is up and down. But like, whatever. The Jags. I'll say it, Gale. The Jags. The Texans. Okay, who else? The Bears. I'll say it. Caleb Williams leaving a little bit on the table. The Seahawks. Defensive heavy. Who needs a star quarterback when he's not going to throw the game away? Packers, a little bit. Niners have been doing it for years. Panthers even. These are teams that are finding ways to win despite the fact they don't have a stud quarterback. Sam Darnold, you can say what you want about him. He's a fun story. But it's Sam Darnold. He threw 4 picks. He is who we thought he was. They lost, and I didn't even think Sam Darnold played that bad if you take away 4 interceptions. I don't think Sam Darnold's the issue, so to speak. But he's certainly not going to take the step forward and win this team a Super Bowl, as happy as that would make me. Give us Seahawks Broncos again. Give the Broncos a chance at their get back. I don't know. I hate the stupid Broncos, but as long as the Chiefs and the Eagles aren't in, we're bound for an interesting Super Bowl matchup. Think about these AFC teams, right? If the Broncos are in, that will be interesting. I hate watching them, but it'll be interesting. It's a good story. Pats, great story. Colts, great story. Amazing. Greatest story in NFL history, maybe, other than Shedeur Sanders, obviously. Shedeur Sanders, despite all odds, 3rd and 10 chunk play, which again, I promise we'll talk about Shedeur. Which I feel like I'm going to say that until the season's over. I promise we will talk about Shedeur. Steelers. The Steelers aren't going to make a Super Bowl, let's be honest. Bills. finally, if the Bills don't do it this year, when's it going to happen? Because it feels like the window's wide open, even if they have to go on the road to play some playoff games. And the Bills, they beat the Bucks by a healthy sum, but that was a close game through and through. Jalen did throw 2 picks. That did happen. The Chargers are going to fall off. The Jags will probably take their spot. So who's going to take that 7? Is it going to be the Texans? Is it going to be the Chiefs? Is it going to be the Ravens? And let me float a scenario to you guys. That's right. I'm clicking on Miami. Because look at this schedule. Look at this schedule. They got the Saints, the Jets, the beatable Steelers, the Bengals, which that game will not be played on prime time, that's for sure. The Bengals, who maybe Joe Burrow will be back. I'm assuming he'll be back. But at that rate, if you're on a 5-game win streak or you're 4-1 over 5 games, you have enough momentum to maybe beat the Bengals. The Bengals are good, but they can be beat by anyone. The Bengals are not some juggernaut with or without Joe Burrow. Okay? And then Tampa, not a fun game. And then you might get the Patriots, the Pats on a rested starters week. There's an outside shot, believe it or not, that the Dolphins can get in. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but we were talking about the Dolphins falling apart like a few weeks ago. They beat the Bills. The Bills are tougher than any team on this schedule outside of maybe the Pats. So I'm sorry I've kind of ignored the chat for a second, but man, I needed to go on that little playoff soliloquy because the end of this season is going to be very fun, very interesting. So if your team is out, like most of our teams, the Raiders, the Saints, the Giants, strap in, man. Buckle up, the Jets. Buckle up, man. Commanders even, I'll say it. Because the end of this season is going to be very interesting for us just normal football spectators. The fans that are not paying attention because we're worried about the draft. The fans that have no skin in the game in January. The fans that spend more time on Tankathon than ESPN. This is going to be a good close to the season. I hope the playoffs are as exciting as some of the games we've seen this year. Let me respond to the chat. Muhammad thinks the Pats can beat anyone in the AFC. I'm just going to lightning round these. How the Bears will do in that stretch. Otis is calling it. Yeah. I don't think the Bears are good, but the Eagles, Packers are overrated, not that good. Well, there you go. You think the Bears for sure beat the Eagles? Fair enough. Shoot. It's like someone being a Knicks fan in 1974. Yes, exactly. I think you're talking about the dude thing, but yes, exactly. Patriots are so exciting, but soon the schedule gets really interesting. Ravens healthy, Bills again. We'll see. Exactly. We'll find out who the Patriots really are. You're in some alt reality. If you're a Steelers fan. I know. Well, no, I mean, I missed that one. Hate the Broncos. Why are they brainwashing people into thinking Bo Nix is good QB when he should be at my local car dealership? Exactly. I feel like Bo Nix deserves some credit for being this clutch. Clutch is a stretch. Clutch is a stretch. Having one good drive just happening to be in the fourth quarter, I'd hardly call that clutch. I'd say that just addition by subtraction, because he's having terrible drives for the rest of the game. I don't think he gets credit for stepping up from a D grade to a C grade for one quarter. I just refuse. I hate Bo Nix. Is more of a top dogs aren't good or a teams have gotten a ton better last year? I like to think it's teams have gotten better. I think the research within scouting departments, within just general NFL knowledge, I think GMs and organizations are just getting continuously smarter, and the gap continues to shrink a little bit, which I wish our economy was a little more like that. But again, not a politics channel. I feel like it's not a situation where, and especially in a hard cap league, the dumb teams don't really feel that dumb, other than the Falcons, to be honest. The Falcons are probably one of the dumbest teams. Sorry, American Dragons disciple, if you're still in here, but like I think the Falcons are one of the dumber teams. But in general, you don't see a lot of draft reaches anymore. You don't see a lot of crazy bad picks or crazy bad moves, other than the Micah Parsons deal, maybe. They're few and far between, and that's why there's such big deals when they happen. I feel like GMs and front offices have never had more information. They've never had more public opinion to go off of. I feel like most fans, this is my like loose hot take, I think most fans could run a franchise. Most fans, all things considered. Like you guys in the chat know most of these draft prospects. I think we could run an NFL team, or at least be some sort of assistant to the GM. Running an NFL team is complicated. It's very difficult, but I think it is tougher to get in the door than it is to actually operate on the job, because Joe Shane is strictly going off CBS best picks. I could do that. I could ask ChatGPT who the best prospects are. It's just all this information is so publicly like available. So I don't know. That's my loose kind of. I don't want to ever be held accountable for that take, but I think most fans could play a pretty big role in team management, and the teams would be better, like not better off, but not much difference would be had. Let me see. Colts are not like the Broncos. They're very fun. You just hate Dan Jones. No, the Colts are fun, and Jonathan Taylor's good. You're right, Otis. You're right. The Colts are fun. I like the Colts, but they don't have a strong quarterback. I'll say that. I don't hate Dan Jones, but I'm not going to crown him MVP. The man for his time and his place. Exactly. James Bryant had a crazy fantasy week. Colts winning for Irsay would be awesome. I do agree. And Carly hoisting the Lombardi would be sick. There's got to be a female owner that's hoisted the Lombardi. But Carly Irsay Gordon's doing it different. She's getting good PR. She's actually an intelligent owner. Sick. Nice to see. An owner that's not so stuck in their ways. Carly Irsay is awesome, and I have a major crush on her. As a Louisiana man, I'm sure Hank and I will agree, you're going to have to chill on the Sean Payton slander law. I'm obligated to defend that Saints era. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I just don't like the guy. I don't want that to be misconstrued. I just don't like the guy. It's not that I think he's a bad coach. He's a good coach. He has a lot of underhanded tricks, like paying to injure players and running onto the field to get the Giants to take a 15-yard penalty and then running into a ref this week. All kinds of underhanded stuff Sean Payton does, but I will not call him a bad coach. I just don't like him. There's a difference. Don't be surprised if the Bengals crawl back their way back into the playoff conversation. Exactly. Who do the Bengals have to close out the season? Who do the Bengals have? Shoot, man. Well, Lorenzo, I would be surprised. I'd be surprised if the Bengals made it out of this with any sort of winning record. At least these next 4 games. And if they're beat up like we all assume they will be after these next 4 games, Dolphins have a shot. My dark horse playoff team is going to stick with Miami. Miami's sick. And I think it's going to take Joe Burrow a second to get acclimated. And I think they very well could lose to the Patriots. Very likely could lose to the Patriots. James beat his number 1 team by 10, beat the other team by less than 1. James, you're music to my ears, man, or music to my eyes, because I'm reading it. I don't know. But my fantasy team won as well. So, yes, good night. Tua going on the road in New England will be awful television. Maybe. And I do want to talk about Mike McDaniel and Tua in a second, but let me just catch up. Mike McDaniel probably going to stay as head coach, rooting for the Miami fall off. I'm rooting for them to pull it off. I'm rooting for the Miami Super Bowl. Why not? Imagine the Dolphins won the Super Bowl. If the Broncos won another Super Bowl, they should trade for AR. Yes! Trade for AR and get Bo Nix out of town. And if any team wants a Super Bowl, they should trade for AR. Bo Nix just sits there and teams collapse around him. Yes, because he plays Davis Mills and Patrick Mahomes, I guess. Yeah, it's fair. Jeez. I just refuse to give Bo Nix any credit. I will die on this hill. Mahi, we will not tolerate any Bo Nix disrespect. We will tolerate Bo Nix disrespect. We will. Nix is 2025 Tebow with a better arm. And less mobile. And less mobile and less exciting. And a dumber face. And older. So, you know what? Maybe I'd rather have Tebow. Put Tebow on this team. Why not? Let's see it. That's it. I'm done. I'm done with the stupid straw. I can't do it anymore. Sorry if that sounded gross. Had to get that done. I don't know why I'm so damn thirsty. You'd think I had a brick of salt before this stream. I ate all the salt I have towards Bo Nix. That's the problem. And that's a stupid joke. Anyways, Otis hates his fat fingers making typos. Me too, man. Me too. I suck at typing. Yeah, no, guys. I don't. You guys don't. You guys know how bad I am at typing. At least you guys can probably type on a mouse and keyboard. I can't. And Jarvis, man, stop it, Hunna. Well, I don't even know which part we're talking about, but I will not stop it. I really got to catch up with the chat. Okay, our league's about to go 0-14. Yeah, I'm assuming you mean like all the teams we like, and maybe we're able to break the script of NFL games with the amount of football that's been watched in my lifetime. Yes. Maybe. I'm the last couple of chats I'm not really following. To get your foot in the door, you need a dash of nepotism. Exactly. Oh, I see. Okay, that was when I was talking about the teams we're running. Okay, I really got to catch up to the chat. You know what? I'm just gonna skip. Okay, I'm just gonna read through the stuff really quick. But yes, no, we would not go 0-14. We'd be sick. We'd be sick managers. I really want to give hot takes on top college QBs on Hunter's Hotline. Don't worry, Otis. We'll get to that. I got to get to Hunter's Hill because we're almost an hour into this stream. Jesus. Okay. Everyone will be drafting prospects from their favorite college, but it would work. Draft what you know, develop who you know. Iron sharpens iron. Broncos are the Eagles of the AFC. Agreed. Side note, college football fandom goes alma mater, childhood team, everyone else. Or, you could just like better players like I do. Hey, does that make me a good person? Yes. Give me your next year's Dan Jones success story prediction. Your next Dan Jones success story prediction. Dan Jones wins a playoff game on the through his arm. The team the Colts play in the playoffs shut down Jonathan Taylor, and Dan Jones says to hell with it and throws a lightning game against a wild card team in the AFC. Let's dart throw Ravens. Why not? Dan Jones slices and dices the Ravens defense at home, and the Colts are moving on to the AFC Championship game. Why not? What are you talking about, Hunter? The world revolves around the Giants. We're rooting for the Miami fall off. Why? So we could get Mike McDaniels? I don't care. I don't care, man. We're probably going to draft stupid Mike McCarthy anyways. I don't know, man. I'm not rooting for the Miami fall off. I'm a Giants fan first, but at the end of the day, I want good football. I love the sport. And if Mike McDaniels finds a way to keep his job, that would be nothing short of inspiring. I'd get my life together. Forget the Giants. I'd get my act together. Yeah, James, I knew you were talking about AR. Anthony Richardson said, will not tolerate any Bo Nix respect. Hunter, I am stupid, Otis. Did I say that? Oh, you did say respect. I thought you meant disrespect. That's my fault. The caps lock tricked me. I can't read. Would Bo Nix pray and become a monk like Tebow? Yeah, that's what I thought. No one can replace Tebow. Yeah. Broncos need to trade for a guy like Shador to win the Super Bowl. Yes. Yes, I like these takes. Dan Jones cures cancer. Yes, Jarv, I gotcha. Not what I meant, but love Dan Jones. I meant a QB. Changing QB is fixed. Oh. Colts are probably going to re-sign Dan Jones. It's going to be a disaster, I'm telling you. It's going to be a disaster, but whatever. Let's enjoy this season while we can. Colts beat the Chiefs next week and end up being the reason the Chiefs don't make the playoffs. Imagine that. That's a good prediction. I like that. That is a fun game. Can we flex it into the prime time? Why is that not the prime time? Like, I don't even like watching the Chiefs in prime time, but that sounds fun. That sounds really fun. Come on. Let's just go week 12. Yeah, duh. Colts Chiefs, 10 a.m. We will be here watching that game. It will be electric. What is the primetime game next week? I think it sucks. I think the Vikings are in it. No. Oh, shoot. It's Rams Bucks. That actually should be pretty fun. Do you think I really think I would give Bo Nix any respect? No, Otis. I was just panicking going through the chat. I'm behind because I'm working out, but the Falcons are a junior college team if you take away our defense pass run. Yes, they are. Poor Falcons. They've had the toughest season out of anyone, and they don't have a draft pick. I mean that. Okay. Is there anything else I wanted to cover? Oh, yeah, one more thing. I told them bust down my AP. Perfect timing. Shador got announced as the likely starter with Gabriel likely going to be out. So here's what we got. Gabriel's questionable, probably won't play. So we are going to get a full week of Shador Sanders. Now, one of the less talked about stories of the week is Shador Sanders. I'm being sarcastic. Is Shador Sanders putting together... Let me change the music. Is Shador Sanders not getting any practice with the first team? There has been a lot of back and forth. Google Gemini says that is off, like, very unordinary, makes no sense. Every quarterback gets reps with every set of teams, and every NFL QB is coming on Twitter and say, no, that's very par for the course for any position. For a quarterback not to work with the first team, regardless of their situation as a player, especially during the season. I haven't been articulating myself well, but you guys get what I'm saying. During the season, it is not normal for the backup quarterback, regardless rookie or not, to work with the first team, unless you're trying to develop that quarterback, which we know the Browns clearly are not. Shador Sanders is going to play. It's going to be in Vegas. It will be the game of the year. It is at 1 o'clock West, 4 o'clock Eastern. I think if we're going to stream on Sunday, and we are, I think I'm just going to watch this game alone. Sorry, Jags, Cardinals. Sorry, Eagles, Cowboys, Falcons, Saints. I don't think I'm going to lose sleep over Falcons, Saints. These aren't amazing games. They're setting us up to watch one game, single box. Cowboys, Eagles, I hope they both lose. I hate watching the Eagles anyway. Browns, Raiders. We will watch every down. Guys, drop a like and your prediction for Browns, Raiders. Who wins? Who plays better, Geno or Shador? Probably Geno. Hell, a cardboard bag would play better than Shador, but that's me just projecting. Maybe he'll be awesome. I hope he's great. I really do. I got a bad feeling. Tickets are $102. I might go. Can I get a cheap seat? Can I get a cheap seat? I'm one. I should bring a date, actually. Let's get two. Hey, babe, I got tickets to Raiders Browns. You ever heard of this guy, Shador Sanders? Fantastic deal. This is the best deal they got. Nosebleeds in Allegiant. Man, 104 each. I think if I pooled together all the money I've made from YouTube, I'd be able to swing this. That's great. Just spend all my money on Raiders Browns and just go. Live stream from it. Just get my phone out. It's like, Shador Sanders! Pick! Oh, man. So, yeah, he's going to beat the Raiders against all odds. People who are surprised that Shador doesn't get first-team reps don't know ball. Most unfun teams to watch. Chiefs, Raiders, Titans, Broncos, Eagles. Well said. Yes, Titans suck to watch. But I'd throw the Browns in there as well. Not to rip on the Browns, but they're not very fun to watch. At least the Chiefs, you know, have some moments. Their offense has looked really weak this year, though, specifically from a play calling perspective. Matt Nagy's in over his head once again. If he couldn't even play Dylan Gabriel for the reps, he didn't deserve them. Yeah, agreed. Shedeur could get 70 yards, 3 picks, and win because of that defense. But will he? Watch Browns Raiders end up 0-0 tie. Has that ever happened in the NFL, non-forfeit wise? I feel like no, right? Pause. Jeez. Has there ever been a 0-0 NFL game non-forfeit? 73 games, but the last one was in 1943 between the Lions and, you guessed it, Giants. But not since the introduction of overtime. No game has ended in a scoreless tie. Bookmark it right now today. Raiders Browns 0-0 draw tie. It will happen. Clip it. Just wanted to have that. That way, in case it happens, I'll have some video evidence to feel smart. I don't actually think that's going to happen, but I just wanted to clip it. Raiders are going up to 3 games. It's going to be great. 3-8's never looked so great. If Dart is back, I'm watching Dart over Shedeur any day. Yeah, well, that game's not at the afternoon window. Or a late afternoon window. I always mess it up. I'm on the West Coast, guys. If you don't get that, then sorry. Can't believe how much the Lions fans are charging for this game. I guess they just want to see the Lions rip on a bad team, which fair. Giants going into Detroit. That's going to be a fun one. I'm really excited. After they lose, the Bright said you can go gambling. Yeah, exactly. I can win my money back. Seriously. I can pay $250 for the tickets and then go win it back on the craps table. Gosh, let me just say this really quick. If you're a gambler, and if you're not a gambler, get into gambling and do this. There is no better feeling. I talked about this with my buddy. There is no better feeling than being at a hot craps table. Bar none. Bar none. No better feeling. Just wanted to say that. Browns, I'm trying to trade for the Browns rookie running back. Yes. Get Quinshawn. He's a good buy low, but he's probably not like a league-winning running back, so, you know, take the good with the bad. He's a good buy low, though, I think. What do you mean Browns are fun to watch? They got Shedeur. You're right. Now they have Shedeur. They will be the most entertaining team to watch. I mean, pre-Shedeur Sanders, obviously. Max Crosby and Myles Garrett combined for 25 sacks. Myles Garrett, man, has, I believe, 15 sacks on the season, maybe 14. He is tearing it up. I'm going to need to Jack Sparrow Raider Browns. I'm pretty sure the Cowboys need to win out to make the playoffs. That would be ideal. And they have a tough schedule ahead. Tough. Take Gibbs and Montgomery under, but the Montgomery touchdown bet next week. You know what? I like that. I'm not going to do it, but I like it. I like the concept of it. Okay. If you're not a gambler, get into gambling and do this. Exactly. Find a hot craps table. Okay. So we've done the playoffs. We've looked at next week's games. By the way, Bills are going to destroy the Texans. Easy and free. Now let's do Hunnis Hill. Let's do Hunnis Hill. First, let me download a picture of Jameis. So, let me just do this real quick. I gotta remove the background of this picture really quick. Then we'll get to Hunnis Hill. Then we'll open the Hunnaball hotline. And then, you know, we'll be well within our normal stream length. Drop a like if you haven't already, though. Because we're trying to build something here. The Hunnaball Nation, Hunnaballers, whatever you prefer. And join the Discord if you haven't already. If you want some things to vent in the Hunna's hotline. I always feel kind of sketch having the Hunna's hotline. But it was fun last week, so we're going to do it again. And by sketch, I mean I don't really know how to operate a good stream. But you know what? We'll figure that out. All right. Here we go. I finally downloaded the picture of Jameis. Let me just... How do I edit this? Great. I forgot how to edit this. Hold on. Here we go. Got it. All right. I need to add someone. What? Wait, how do you... Wait, hold on. Oh, add additional files. Here we go. Got it. Got it. All right. Okay, Shedeur. Got it. All right. Here we go. Not Shedeur. Okay. Welcome to post week 11. Hunnis Hill. Shedeur's already up there. No, Shedeur's up there. I needed Jameis. Okay, as you can see, we've made a few tiers, okay? This is gonna be tough to follow, but we added Jameis. I needed to download this picture of him with the eating the W. Where's Jameis gonna go? Well, they lost. The Packers dropped about 4 interceptions. They caught the last one. Jameis didn't have a good game. Does Hunt have the heart to move out Shador? We will see. Shador is the only thing on our minds. Yeah, no, exactly. Everyone's wondering what I'm going to do with Shador Sanders. We will wait. We will wait on that one. Jameis is... Okay, but if we're being objective, right? Is Jameis better than Russ? Of course. Unless you're Brian Dable, you think Jameis is better than Russ. Is Jameis better than Jake Browning? Yes. Rush? Yes. Riley Leonard? Yes. Kirk Cousins? For sure. Who, by the way... Kirk Cousins sucks. He's a complete waste. Carson Wentz? Yup. Kenny? Yup. 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 Bryce is going to move up, but Jameis, I'd hardly call Jameis terrible. Pretty bad. Yup. Yup. Yeah. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. I'm sorry, Jameis. I wanted to make a tier for Jameis, but we can't. I'm going to have like 19 tiers if I keep making tiers for people. Okay? So, you know, game is game. Jameis, it's a bummer. Jameis is his own category, 30 out of 30. Yeah. He is in his own category. Jameis bottom pretty bad. Okay, that's what Otis said. That's what I'm going as well. I love how we're talking about James with their SpongeBob music in the back. True, James. Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to mix it up. We're mixing up the Mario music. So if I get kicked off stream, let me know. Because I would really hate for these songs to get copywritten. But so far, we've been good. Remember the Kirko signing was supposed to make the Falcons? Yeah. The Falcons are just like the Raiders. Fun talent on offense, but they ignored the important positions. They played it like Madden, and now they're paying the price. Okay. As far as really terrible, no one else played. I don't even know why these guys are still around. Russ is sticking there. Let's move these around, right? So DG, he was on the chopping block, but I refuse to call him really terrible because we saw how he played, right? He wasn't amazing, but then Shador went out there and played a hell of a lot worse. So I don't want to put DG down. And DG didn't get benched. He still is the starting quarterback in Cleveland, so to speak. We want Shador to get the job, but for now, he didn't get benched. Justin Fields did. There we go. I hate watching Marcus Mariota. I don't want to do it ever again, but, you know, they went to overtime with the Dolphins. I don't want to move him down, but I will. Marcus Mariota's going right there. I hate watching him. Sucks. Gino, look, they lost the game and he didn't play well, but he also has no time. I don't want to move him up too much because he didn't play, like, excellently. And that's why I'm going to leave him behind Max Brosmer. Max Brosmer is, you know, the prince that was promised. We're waiting on Max Brosmer's development here. We are. Cam Ward didn't play, so he's not eligible to move. Tyrod is, you know, sticking. He's going to start. He didn't play. Put Bryce right below Mac. I was thinking a little different. Just make a tier for every QB, seriously. I was thinking a little different. The position wasn't bad, but I'm going right there. I'm moving Bryce up 2 tiers. 450 and 4 tubs against the Falcons. Are the Falcons a great defense? No, but their pass defense has been really good up to this point in the season. Their pass rush has been solid, and they might be a snooze to watch, but Bryce Young put on. There we go. Got to put Purdy over Bo Nix. I will move Purdy up, but we'll get to that. Tyler Shuck. Did the Saints even play this week? Were the Saints on bye? I think the Saints were on bye, which, you know, who cares? Kyler... Kyler effectively lost his job to Jacoby Brissett, but he's injured, so I don't want to move him down too far. That's just rude. But people I want to move up, Tua. Listen, Tua did not play well, or like he didn't play bad either, though. He didn't play bad either. I'm going to give Tua some love where it's due, okay? In fact, I'll say it. Tua 1, Davis Mills 1. I'd rather watch Tua. Simple. There we go. Mac's going to stick for now. He's going to stick for now as the king of pretty bad. Kyler, future Jet, book it. I like moving up. Only problem is he's inconsistent. Okay. But 450, that is a performance enough to move you past guys like Tyler Huntley. I mean, come on. And Joe Milton. Like, let's be real here. Joe Milton hasn't thrown 450 in a game. He had that really good Week 17 matchup or Week 18 matchup last week, but that didn't really count. If we're being real with ourselves, none of these guys are throwing for 450 4 tubs. Straight up. Maybe Jameis, but he'd also throw like 4 picks. Okay, Jacoby Brissett. He set the record for completions, so it's something. And for that, he goes ahead of Penix. Bravo. You know who else goes above Penix? Mac Jones. You know who else goes above Penix? Tua. You know who else goes above Penix? Davis Mills. And that's all I'm going to move him for now. For now. Anyone else having the audio cut out? Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Put Kyler in unlimited. Not a bad bet, honestly. Not a bad bet. All right, I paused the music just for a second because it might be, YouTube might be messing around. But the audio should be good and, whoa. Okay, the audio should be good. Let me know if anything else, if it gets all messy. It might be the connection though, we'll see. But yeah. So, what was I saying? Yeah, Bryce Young, meh. Having stream quality issues really drives me crazy, so please always let me know. But Kyler Unlimited, it's tempting, honestly. We'll see how the vibes go. We'll see how the vibes go. But for now, Russ is his own tier. He's earned it. Super Bowl champ, maybe Hall of Famer. Just kidding. Brock Purdy played a hell of a game. He did. He outdueled Jacoby Brissett to the surprise of many. I still really want Jordan Love in the Bo Nix tier. We will get there. We will get there. I'm kind of hesitant with Jacoby Brissett. He did set the record, but they did lose, but he set the record, so we'll keep him there. Congratulations on the completions record, Jacoby. Well done. Jeez. Brock Purdy. They won. They won. I'm not going to call Brock Purdy good for fantasy. He's not going to go in Y or pretty good. He's meh. He's the perfect man for the job. He's meh. Okay? Jordan Love. The Packers beat the Giants. Let's go. Congratulations, Packers. Greatest moment in franchise history. And you know what you get for that? You know what you get for that? You're moving down, Jordan. You're moving down. I'm sick of this guy. I watched him play. He was not impressive. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't score. The Giants' offense is really bad. They got that last touchdown, but I was not impressed, and I'm mad. If the quarterback beats the Giants, I will be negatively biased towards the dot to the corner of the end zone was gorgeous. Do not care. Do not care. If the quarterback beats the Giants, I will be negatively biased. But he's not worse than Joe Flacco. Fair enough. I'll meet you in the middle. Meet you in the middle. Also, I said I was going to make a tier, and I will. I'm going to make a tier right now. I'm going to make it purple. Calling it one thing. 9. And that's where Jage is going. Right there. Between meh and pretty bad. 9. Perfect spot for him. Meh. Pretty bad. 9. Don't care about the end zone corner shot. CJ Stroud didn't play, so he's going to stick. Aaron Rodgers won, so I'll put him ahead of Joe Flacco. Congrats. This tier is getting a lot more solidified. I'm very stubborn about these guys, and I just refuse to give them credit. Giants offense is not really bad, Lowell. It's been pretty average this year. I'm talking about the defense. The Giants defense has been garbage. So Love just moved down one spot. Yeah, basically. Love moved down one spot. How many tiers can you have? Many. As much the 9 thing. That's his alter ego. I can have as many tiers as can go down this list. Once we get down below this, like below me, then we're going to have a problem. But, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We might get rid of the Y tier when Jaden Daniels comes back. If he comes back, who knows? But that's where we're at. I hate Bo Nix. He is sticking. I do not care. Well, he did beat the Chiefs. The Commanders didn't. And that was with Jaden Daniels. I think, or did Mariota play in that one? Jaden Daniels has been hurt a bunch. There it is. There it is. That is my one concession about Bo Nix. He played this week. He beat the Chiefs. He deserves a fraction of love. I will move him ahead of the guy who's not playing. Congratulations, Bo Nix. You're moving by default, just like the rest of your sorry life. That was mean. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Good for fantasy. Listen, Caleb Williams is, in fact, good for fantasy. He wasn't great this week, but he is good for fantasy. I think that's a perfect tier to put him at. Okay? Dak is good for fantasy, but he played well enough to where I kind of want to move him up. Kind of don't. I don't know. Stressed. We're going to move Dak up. We're going to do it. Dak's moving up. T-Law is not above Dak. Oh, but he is. Oh, but he is. T-Law. Congrats, buddy. You're at the top of pretty good. Where the hell's Gale? Where's Gale, man? We're moving. That is a for real ranking too. The Chargers got the belt to ass against the Jags. I don't care if T-Law threw what? He threw an interception? What? Who cares? They lit him up. He's high-fiving. He's making it happen. He's getting everyone involved. 14 for 20. That's underwhelming. Jeez. 14 for 22, 153, one tub, one pick, with no Brian Thomas and no Travis Hunter. He's finding ways to win. He's getting Johnny Munt involved. Okay, played a lot better than Herbert. All right, maybe I got a little too outrageous. Got a little. Did you see the handcuffs though? What handcuffs? Oh, the handcuff running backs. Wait, what are you talking about? The handcuffs. Jim, there's no way you can out-argue Gale. T-Law will always be overrated on the hill. Generational talent right there. Every Jags win is in spite of T-Law. I'm not gonna sit here and disagree with you guys, but I am gonna give T-Law credit where it's due. And if he wins another, he's going to elite, straight up. This is more of a rage bait pick than anything. But whatever, it's my list. I make the rules around here. It's a rage bait pick. I don't care. Justin Herbert, he sucks. Don't care. Been waiting on it all year. Been waiting on the Herbert downfall all season long, and it finally happened. Jags were 3-point center. Exactly. And they gave it to him. They gave it to him. John is here. By the way, drop a like if you haven't already. But every time someone new comes in, I'm like, drop a like. But listen, they gave him the belt, and they deserve their credit. I'm not going to give Jalen Hurts his flowers. What, he beat Detroit? That's a solid team. But they won in spite of Jalen Hurts. Trevor Lawrence put on. Did Trevor Lawrence throw a pick? Yes. Did Jalen Hurts throw a pick? No. I don't care. I would rather watch the Jags. And that's because Hunnaball said so. Jared, moving to the back end of this tier. Do not care. Going against Gale in arguments like Saban, Alabama on the road. If he goes to elite, I'll find another giant streamer I can suffer with. Come on, guys. Come on. Oh, I'm not wearing my necklace. Come on, guys. Cut me some slack here. I'm pandering. Jackson Dart ahead of Dak. Yeah, sure. Why not? We got 3 NFC East QBs hanging out here. We're leaving it. We're leaving it. I don't care. We're leaving it. Done deal. Jalen, 6 total touchdowns. Worth discussing. He played better than Pat. He played better than Lamar. He played better than Darnold. He played better than Baker, but I don't want to put him ahead of Baker because he beat Baker. I'm going to have to put him ahead of Baker. He did. He beat Baker straight up. He threw 2 picks and 2 bad ones at that, but, he earned it. Josh, congratulations. So moving on with our elite tier. I'm not going to move Pat out of the elite tier, but he is on the chopping block. But could you imagine? I don't know. Dak is better than Hurts. I'm not doing this again. I liked Dak more than Hurts again, but I'm not going to get into this Dak Hurts debate. Gets us nowhere. Dak beat the Raiders. Let's chill out. How did we lose to this Raiders team week 1? Great question. Week 1 is a liar. I made that video on my channel. Check it out if you haven't already. Week 1 is a liar, for sure. All right, just stopped everything I was doing to fix the music. There we go. All right, let me know if the audio cuts out again. What's in the Eagles' offense is corporal punishment. Exactly, I hate it. Hate everything about it. Okay. Lamar, I don't want to say he played bad, but, they definitely should have beat the Browns by more. If Lamar's supposedly elite, I wish he played better. Pat in 9 tier, move him to the bottom. I hate him. I'm the only one that's allowed to make biased picks around here. Damn it. It's Hunna's Hill, all right? But I do appreciate the collaboration on here. Darnold threw 4 picks. I don't want to hate on Darnold, but he threw 4 picks. He is lucky that I'm not dropping him down to good for fantasy. 4 picks, but I still like him. I'm still rooting for him. I said yesterday, that was the best 4-pick game I've seen in my life. So there you go. Week 1 with Dable's been a liar for 4 years. Hey, man, we find a way to lose. So, I don't know about a liar. I missed week 1 so much. Beating the Pats was awesome. Yeah. Well, don't hold your breath. Anyways, Baker's going to stick. Drake May, he is knocking on the door. The second Stafford has a bad game, Drake May is moving up to best, but for now, he's there. So there's one question left, because Stafford is sticking. Everyone else is staying put. There's one question left. Where am I putting Shador? Where am I putting Shador? Well, it's pretty simple. But we're going to have to do some addition by subtraction here. As much as it hurts to say, and the sad music is playing, Rightfully so. We're getting rid of the Mitch tier. What just happened? Oh, I added a tier. Whoops. We're getting rid of the Mitch tier. I just clicked the wrong button. We got rid of the Mitch tier. And Mitch is going down to unlimited. Because that's what he is. He's unlimited. And we're making a new tier. Down below. Making it gray. Because we do not know what's going to happen. Can we get some first team reps before we decide? Can we get some first team practice reps? Stat. Can we get some first team some first team reps? If Shador wins, he'll be ahead of Stafford, and we'll rename it Legendary. Book it right now. If Shador beats the Raiders, he will be at the top of Hunna's Hill. But for now, I am moving him down one tier to can we get some first team reps? Can we do it? I love watching Darnold. We don't get QB meltdowns like that anymore. Good point. Good point. Unless Sam Darnold's playing, in which case we get him like twice a year. That was like Jay Cutler, Jake Delhomme stuff. 4 picks. But it was a clean 4. It was like, you know, he played well outside of the 4 interceptions. And you could quote me on that. Giants are a semi-attractive destination for a head coaching spot. They're a very attractive coaching destination. For sure. Semi-attractive. I'd want to coach the Giants. Rookie quarterback, stud, a good running back, wide receiver talent, a fixed O-line, a really solid defense. This might be one of the most attractive coaching jobs in recent memory, with a shot at a pretty high draft pick. Yeah, I'd love to coach the Giants. I'd love to be a part of this team. Call it an electric performance. 2016 taught me a lock in the playoffs. You could be a lock in the playoffs. Everything can fall apart. Carr's leg, 28-3, a good year, but a sad year. Ryan's a Hall of Famer if 28-3 never happens. That's a good point. I mean, I don't know where that came from, but sure, yes. Semi because bad ownership's a medium Pepsi. Medium Pepsi. You had to, Lorenzo. You had to throw out medium Pepsi. When in doubt, medium Pepsi. My favorite pick was the jump piss. My favorite pick was the jump pass directly into a defender's chest. Like I said, it was a clean pick. Okay. So this is the post-week 11 Hunna's Hill. If you have a problem with it, sucks. Can we get a moment of silence for the Mitch Trubisky tier? Okay. We did it. There's that. Mitch is down and unlimited with Russ. That might change, but for now, give your dream likely and nightmare coach pickups for the Giants. Okay, real quick. My dream pickup is Clint Kubiak. My probable, after John convinced me, my probable pickup is Mike McCarthy. My nightmare pickup is Lou Anarumo. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Kevin Patullo. The New York Post floated it. I didn't. I wouldn't hate seeing Spags. Another nightmare pickup would be, oh man, I'm blanking on the fella's name. Oh my God, Arthur Smith. Hello, Arthur Smith. If Arthur Smith gets an interview, I'm punching the wall. If Arthur Smith gets an interview, I'm going to be livid. What would be the point of that? Will 9 get to 9 interceptions this season? For sure. But yeah, those are just my like loose thoughts on head coaching candidates. I think as time goes on, and we'll see some more options, whether or not Jeff Hafley holds on, whether or not the Rams coordinators do well. We'll see how it develops. I don't want to be talking about coaches in mid-November, but I think near December, January, we'll do a whole stream on head coachings, Black Monday, etc. Even the door was silent for that moment. Exactly. Yes. Spags would be a nightmare. Arthur Smith should get an interview. I disagree, John. Why? What is the point of interviewing Arthur Smith? Why? He failed in Atlanta. Everywhere he's gone as coordinator, they haven't done well. And he was a Nepo hire. What is the purpose of Arthur Smith? What would we get there? Culture? What culture? He's just old and dumb. Culture? What? 4 tight end sets for days. Exactly. I'm good. He should not get an interview. Brought up because I realized I never have any hope after week 1. I had hope in 2016. I had hope, but it ruins. It ruins. But ruined. I had to enjoy my team, and I deserve to suffer. It's a tough spot to be, being a Raiders fan. I'm not going to disagree with that, Otis. Drop a like if you haven't already. Arthur Smith to the Giants, and y'all trade for Darnell Washington. Yes. Sign me up. And then we can sit Cam Scattaboo in favor of Devin. We can re-sign Devin Singletary then. It'll be awesome. But anyways, that's been Hunna's Hill post week 11. Felt like dishing out the word there instead of the number. Don't know why. And as you can see, I will update this now. New and improved. Can we get some first team reps, please? Can we get some first team reps first? Jeez. Give the guy some slack. Arthur Smith would fit Scadaboo really well. What? How? If we're coaching to fit the running back, I don't like that. I don't like that equation. Simply, point blank. I don't like it. Don't care for it. Johnny Smith, you are a New York Giant. Yeah. The culture is jet sweeps to Johnny Smith. That's what I mean. What's the point? Josh McDaniels or Joe Brady? Oh, I mean, Joe Brady wouldn't be. I mean, the Giants won't hire Joe Brady because they just went Buffalo offensive coordinator. But you know, I wouldn't hate it either. But again, the Giants probably want experience. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. Anyways, I don't think Joe Brady's a bad head coaching candidate for any other team, though. I think that'd be interesting. But yeah. Also, if you want to make your own, this is just every quarterback that's played it down this season. At Hunnaball and Tier Maker. Follow me or don't, I don't care. But, you know, if you want to make your own, let me know. Throw it in the Discord. Speaking of Discord, we're almost an hour and a half into this stream. And we are going to open up the Hunnas hotline. It's going to be sick. But in case you missed my take, I think the Bills are going to win by a lot here. Just to do a real quick Thursday night prediction. Whatever the spread is, I'm taking the Bills. Don't care. I think the Bills are going to win by a lot. But just for fun, let's look it up. Bills Texans spread. It is Bills 4.5 road favorites. Seems a bit rich, but you know what? 4.5, I'll still take it. I will still take it. 4.5 points over under 43.5. I like the Bills. Does it feel like a little bit of a trap game? Maybe, but I like the Bills and I hate the Texans. We've known this. We've known this. And I'm stubborn if nothing else. League neighbors get ready to learn wing T. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. PK says Josh McDaniels is the best coach ever. Yes, he is. He's great. I don't know if I'll get in the hotline. I'm pretty tired. Is it worth opening the hotline? Is it worth opening the hotline, to be honest? Otis, if you're not going to do it, then we'll call it. We'll call it. We'll do it on a like every other week. Because it does kind of... I love talking to you guys. I really do. And feel free to converse in the Discord. But it does kind of slow down the momentum of this stream. And I like having just an open dialogue when everyone's here. So we'll do it a bi-weekly thing. Bi-weekly. That way everyone can gather their thoughts and rant. But any last... Man, I feel like we spent a minute on the Raiders too, Otis. I feel like we did a minute on the Raiders. So we'll see. But, yeah. And Otis, if you want to do it, I'm down. If anyone else really has some things to say. But otherwise, I'm down on making it a bi-weekly thing. Because I like being able to talk to everyone instead of locking in on one conversation. Not that I don't like Hunna's Hotline. But, you know, it's a great name. Great concept. But, you know. But yeah, so we look forward to week 12, right? And Texans have won 2 in a row against them. I don't know. I think Thursday night was made for the Texans. Those are 2 very fair points. And that's why it does feel like a trap game. I just think look, I've said it before a million times, the Texans offensive line, I don't know if they've been playing better because the Texans are on a bit of a, I want to say hot streak, right? Let's do like a Thursday night preview, actually. They're on a bit of a hot streak, right? They beat the Jags. They beat the Titans barely. Is Stroud going to play? Probably, right? Because it was a concussion. Stroud is probably going to play. I don't see him on the injury report. Let's double check and see if Stroud's on the injury report. I'm assuming he will play, though. Because if he doesn't, like, this spread should be a lot wider. He didn't participate in Monday's walkthrough. I don't know if that was this Monday, right? 7 hours ago. We'll see. Stroud off a concussion. Kind of a questionable situation on a short week. If he didn't participate in Monday's walkthrough, it's not a great start. I would assume he'd play. Missing a week and a half with a concussion seems like a lot. But, you know, anything's possible. If he doesn't play, obviously Texans are going to lose by a wide margin and this line will move. I'm assuming 4.5 is assuming Stroud will play. Night Hunt of them sheets are calling my name. Fair enough, Hank. Thanks for stopping by. But, I'm looking forward to this game, and I see Titus Howard's questionable. I don't know what the extent of these injuries are. These are not nothing injuries, though. Aziz Al-Shaair, Jalen Petrie, couple offensive linemen, Titus Howard, Trent Brown, couple tackles, Will Anderson. These are all big deal injuries, right? Whereas I feel like the Bills' injuries are just a little more to handle. I feel like if you can shut down Nico Collins, you're in a lot better shape. I don't know why ESPN looks like this, by the way. This has really been bothering me for the past like few weeks. I don't know why it looks like this. I don't know if it's because my window's small. Nope. But we'll figure that out later. But listen, the ESPN matchup predictor, which means absolutely nothing, to be honest with you, has the Bills winning by this much. So anything could happen according to the ESPN monitor. I would argue this is almost a must-win game for the Bills, considering they're 2.5 games behind the Pats. They kind of need this one. Whether or not it's the Texans is not something that seems like, because I feel like the Bills have some tough games. Not really, actually. Not really. I want to walk that back. This isn't as much a must-win. You'd like to win this game if you're Buffalo, because you'd really like to have a home playoff game, but maybe even 2. But you'd like to win this game. Stroud on a short week, especially if he's not participating in Monday's walkthrough. Steelers, I feel like that's a winnable game for the Bills. You guys know I'm not big on the Steelers. Bengals, again, probably a win for the Bills. So they could go on a bit of a run here. I think they'll be a little beat up, though, by the time they get to this Pats game. These are not easy games by any measure. We'll see how this Pats game go. This song is creeping me out. I just couldn't do it. Browns should be free, but if Shadur's playing, who knows? Maybe the Browns are on the table. Eagles, that'll be a physical one, and then the Jets in week 18 to probably lock down a playoff spot. So maybe it's not a must-win game, but it is something that is worth kind of keeping an eye on. It's a game. It is an interesting Thursday night football game. Whoa. My eyebrows are crazy, man. I'll tell you. I just got a look. I was like, my eyebrows are crazy. I don't care for this look. I mean, who would like this look? But anyways, they really should flex the second New England Bills game. I agree. The fact that that's at 10 o'clock is kind of a shame. Let's see what the Sunday night game is that week. This would be December 14th. I don't know why I clicked on that. That actually didn't help me at all. What's that, week 14? Oh, wait, no. Here we go. It actually did help me. The Sunday night game is Viking. Yeah, they should flex it. For sure. For sure they should flex it. Lions-Rams isn't the game there. Interesting. Wow. I guess we got Lions-Rams Sunday night football last year, so waiting all day for Dolphins-Steelers. That is such a Monday night football game. Let me say this really quick before we continue. Discussing week 12. ESPN, hate it or love it, because I've really been paying attention to broadcasts this week. So my next video is going to be crafting the perfect broadcast. It's going to be a cool one. I'm excited to make it, which I haven't made a long form video in a minute. So hopefully this will be my return. But I will say, ESPN, we're supposed to hate Disney, and rightfully so, and I've complained about the licensed music 100 times. So take me home. I'm sick of them. But a couple things I'll say about ESPN. I really appreciate their microphones on the field. I think ESPN does an excellent job, sometimes too good, of capturing the on-field sound. There was a touchdown pass, I want to say to CeeDee Lamb, could have been to Ferguson. And clearly it was a Cowboys home game. Cowboys fans travel like none other, especially with a 2-8 Raiders team. They bought a lot of seats, so when Jake Ferguson caught a touchdown, the roof felt like it blew off the place. If you go through those Raiders-Cowboys highlights, which I don't know why you would, but if you do, on the Jake Ferguson touchdown, I think the stadium sounds like it blew up with noise. It's crazy. And you can hear everything that happens between the numbers. It's very cool. Dak calls a timeout. You hear it. Timeout. You hear it. I think that's cool. That's a very noteworthy thing. So I just wanted to bring that up. I think ESPN, as much as I'm supposed to hate them, and it was nice watching Monday Night Football. Jeez. I have YouTube TV. It was nice watching the game legally. Jeez. But we're supposed to hate Disney, and we do, but I just wanted to note that because I do appreciate a couple things about the ESPN broadcast. And Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, they're very, very clearly on the back end of their careers. That's not a hot take. They're both 70-something, I want to say. Maybe not 70, but they're pretty old. They're on the back end of their broadcasting careers. And when it comes to a Cowboys game in prime time, they're back in their wheelhouse. They have no problem showing their bias, and that's fine. At this point, that's fine. PK says the primetime game's been very iffy this year. I am not going to sit here and disagree with you, PK. But yeah, I'll tell you, this SpongeBob music has made me tired, fellas. Not going to lie. If you need some music to fall asleep to, listen to these SpongeBob jams for sleeping studying. So there's that. But yeah, honestly, this wasn't the greatest Monday Night Football game ever, but I enjoyed it. I think it was fun to watch to a degree. I think watching the Raiders' downfall was at least a little interesting, and the Cowboys are back. And they won for Neyland, so that's cool. I enjoyed this one a lot more than Lions-Eagles, and that's not something I thought I would have said this week. There you go. Wouldn't even be able to tell you who the next generation of broadcast would be, as the whole formers players thing isn't working as well as I thought. I mean, the NBA at least seems to be really making a push towards YouTubers. like Kenny Beecham, king of the fourth quarter. Who doesn't love Kenny? Kenny for real. Dude, he's getting some time on, I want to say the Prime show? Might be the ESPN show. God, who hired Kenny real quick? They hired, I want to say it was Prime. I really do. NBC. It was NBC. Damn it. The one I didn't guess. NBC. So NBC brought on Kenny Beecham. It seems like the NBA is doing this. I would love for the NFL to start doing it. Look, they had that game on YouTube, and they had Grossi call. I'm not gonna say Tom Grossi's gonna like be in the booth one of these days, but that would be cool. Danny's Dallas Cowboys, let's go. How about them Cowboys? We won on Monday Night Football against the Raiders, bro. Yes, we did talk about that. Congratulations, Danny Dallas Cowboys, let's go. Wonder what your team is. Congratulations on the win. We covered it earlier, but good team win from the Cowboys. They have a tough schedule ahead, but hey, they're fun to watch, and I have George Pickens in fantasy, so I enjoyed it. Romo's the exception, not the rule. Agreed. I'm really sick of players phoning it in. There are some good some good player commentators. I think JJ Watt is good. I think Greg Olson, good. I think, man, I'm blanking. Did Louis Riddick play, or was he a general manager? I like Louis Riddick in the booth. I like Orlovsky in the booth. Kurt Warner is kind of a hit or a miss. I think it's a loaded topic. I think it's a case-by-case basis. But I would love to hear a new crew in for ESPN Monday Night Football. I think they're trying to kind of usher in the Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, and then whoever does play-by-play with that group. Can't remember the fellow's name, but they're kind of ushering in that group. We'll see the next generation of broadcasters, but hey, get me in the booth. I'll say some crazy stuff. It'll be awesome. Get me in the booth of a Giants game. Another thing, I just want to say this really quick about my perfect broadcast video that's coming out. Perfect timing. I think a cool idea that I'm just floating would be have the former players of each team call it. Have a play-by-play and have two color commentators, one of each that is like clearly a former player of the previous team. So, you know, let's say Mark Sanchez gets back in the booth, which isn't going to happen. Get him in the booth for a Jets game. Jets are playing the Patriots. Get him in the booth. Get Tom Brady in the booth. Imagine that. That would be electric. That'd be so funny. Who wouldn't love that? Get Eli calling color. That'd be awesome. Who knows? Peyton. I know the Manning cast is about perfect for them, but still, who knows? Madden as a coach, but he's goated as a commentator. Agreed. Hey, maybe some former coaches as commentators. Get Sean McVay is going to do great. Sean McVay is going to be an awesome personality in the booth. That's for sure. Sean McVay is going to be awesome. That much I know for sure, and I will be very excited to hear him as a commentator. Olsen, JJ have been studs too. Sneaky underrated, but I like Adam Archuleta and Mark Schlereth. Mark Schlereth is good. I forget that he's a former player. He's so good at commentating. He's very good. Agreed. Hey, and Danny, if you're still in here, drop a like, pal. Welcome to the stream. We stream for every primetime game. 2-8's never looked so great. Go Raiders. Oh, man. But anyways, that's my little commentary soliloquy about how I think players from former players should commentate on their own games. Why not? Steer into the bias. These players are these commentators are biased anyway. Who cares? Like the Charlotte commentator does a good job of towing the line. You guys know who I'm talking about. I don't know the fella's name, but he brings emotion. And why? Does anybody know why Gus Johnson doesn't do NFL games anymore? Is that just like him scheduling? Did Fox pay him more? What happened? Why does Gus Johnson not do NFL games? Let's see. He's been busy with his role as a fellow Harvard's Advanced Leadership Initiative. Wow. That was not my guess. Wow, okay. I'm back in college now. Well, I guess this is going to be a whole long thing, isn't it? Jeez. How long is this going to happen? Harvard Fellowship. My God. Okay, well, shoot. Speaking of Manning cast, is a reputable formula or more of a gimmick? I think it's all about personalities. I think having alternative opinions and commentating on games is very valuable, but you can't do like a bad one. Like, it can't be bad. I think the Manning cast is a good idea, but I think a more sustainable formula would be the TNF different camera angle broadcasts, the Prime Vision, which I talked about Prime Vision on Thursday. It's good, but it kind of gives me a headache. I like the idea, but the execution could be better. I don't need the patronizing AI tech or all the football jargon. They talk to you as if you've never seen football in your life. Like, this is what a blitz is. This is what a cover 3 is. They're probably going to play zone, and then they play man. It makes me mad. And the worst thing, the worst offender is the guy who comes in and explains football to you. I don't know the guy's name. He sounds wooden as a board, dude. He is the worst. He is the worst on-air talent across any football medium. Call it. And that's including high school. Call it. Revis for a Jets pass game. That's what I'm saying. Get these old players. Anyone can talk football. Shoot. I'm talking football. We're talking football. Anyone can talk football. Just have some emotion. Have some care. And if people don't like it, hit the mute button. Another idea that I'm floating is, and this is going to be really abstract. I don't even know how this would work on TV. It would have to be on a streaming service. Sound sliders. I feel like that's kind of a layup, no? That cannot be that hard. Manual user sound sliders. You want to turn off the commentators and listen to just the crowd noise? There you go. You want to select only the sound channel that has the on-field noise? There you go. You want to only listen to the commentators? That's weird, but there you go. Like in Madden. It's never been done before. I'm sure it would be kind of a logistical nightmare. But if you have different sound channels coming in from different aspects of the game, like broadcast stations do to begin with, and don't just mix it all together with your own arbitrary sound mix, give the power to the audience. Especially on an altcast on a streaming service. I understand that cable, it's tough to do that. But if you're doing a broadcast on Prime or on Apple TV or whatever, Peacock even, I'd watch Peacock if I could do sound sliders and turn off Collinsworth. I like Collinsworth, but being able to just hear the contact, the pads, the running, the on-field sound, that'd be amazing. You see, Jamar got suspended for spitting. I did. I did see that. Spitgate 2. Who would have thought we'd get 2 of those this year? I think it's hilarious how the refs threw out the wrong... I think the refs threw out Toss Ramsey, right? They didn't even see the spit. So funny. Such a hilarious thing. But NBA is so different because there's multiple different broadcast crews at once. Yes, there's a lot more games. It is different. But again, I think the NBA, hate it or love it, they do embrace the more digital online side of their sport more than any other league. Manning cast isn't replicable because there's really no people like Peyton and Eli. They're people in dynamic. Exactly. They're successful brothers. I feel like TJ and Jage could probably do something. I feel like Gronk and Edelman could do one. I don't think they're that limited. I think you could get some multicasts. I really do. I think you could figure it out. Gronk and Edelman would be fun. And we got some Pats fans in here. NFL has exclusive rights. I missed that one. My bad. Patriots not beating the easy schedule accusations. Well, so far they have, but we'll see. We will see. Time will tell. We're beating the teams in front of us no matter who they are. There you go. I think the Patriots, I think we have 3 Patriots fans in here. It's hilarious. I think we have more Patriots fans in here right now than Giants fans, which is a very different color for this stream. That Drake May video really brought a couple people towards this channel. I love it. But I got to make more player analysis videos because so far the Drake May thing has panned out extremely well. We are eating good. Pats are doing what they're supposed to do, beat bad teams and not beat themselves. Exactly. That's the Tom Brady Patriots for you. Drake May Patriots. Really curious to see. Who did the Pats have this week again? Bills, is it? Wait, are they on bye? No, they have week 14 bye. Wait, who did the Pats play? Oh, no. Darn. We can't watch the most boring teams ever in the Broncos, Chargers, and Commanders. Dang. Reyna's here. Herberting, good for fantasy after this past week is wild. I'm not going to put him in meh. Reyna's making a good point. He was in pretty good. Let's not forget. He dropped down a tier. He was in pretty good. He is at the back end of good for fantasy. I'm not putting him behind Bo Nix. I don't love Justin Herbert. I'm not putting him behind Bo Nix. Bengals. Okay, that's a winnable game, no doubt. Jeez, 9-2 is such a clean looking record too. 9-2, 5-0 on the road is so clean. Good for the Patriots. 9 video. That's what we should do. Oh my God, I should do a JJ McCarthy video. The story of 9. Oh man. But yeah, guys. But drop a like if you haven't already. We're on to Cincinnati. Exactly. We're on to Cincinnati. There you go, Pats. Oh man. But yes, this is the new and updated Hunna's Hill. Caleb Williams sticking in good for fantasy. I don't think Caleb Williams is marginally. I don't think he's much better than Justin Herbert. And again, I do not like Justin Herbert. But at the end of the day, that's just how I feel about these guys. Strictly vibes. But anyways, the Hannes hotline is not going to be up tonight, and that's okay. So yeah, I think the main story once again is Shedeur Sanders. And really quick, I kind of buried this yesterday. I feel like I didn't do this story enough justice because it was the talk of the town today. If you didn't see Josina Anderson talk about Shedeur Sanders, I'm going to pull this up again. This was so funny. Okay, her like page is probably blowing up today because she said what some are calling the funniest tweet of the year. 6.5 million views. Here was the against all odds 3rd and 10 completion by Shedeur Sanders under 2 minutes. Look at this. Against all odds. With no first team practice reps, he throws a 3-yard check down to Jerry Jeudy, who was able to get the first. Against all odds completion. Here's a look at his no first team reps, 35-yard chunk completion by Shedeur Sanders. You didn't hear about the chunk completion he had? Look at this. Clean pocket, has all day to throw, and finds an open Harold Fannin. All you Harold Fannin fantasy owners like myself, welcome to pay dirt, man, because things are about to get sweet. Saudi Arabia's trending. I do not want to investigate further. I don't. So yeah, maybe it's send Gino to Saudi Arabia. But yeah, fellas. So that's the crux of the stream. It's getting late. It's 10:11. And, you know, I'm still kind of recovering a little bit. Had a little cold coming on yesterday. We made it through, shockingly. But I think I'm going to get off stream now, guys. This has been fun, though. I'm glad you guys joined. This is cool. We had we had Danny join. That's new. Josina Anderson tweets for people who don't watch football. She's like Prime Vision. And I like Prime Vision. It's a good idea. They just didn't execute well. That's all I'm saying. But, yeah, fellas. So I think I'm going to call it there. We did Hannes Hill. And we had a fun convo. We talked about Shedeur, which was really all I wanted to do. And yeah, so this has been a good one. Honestly, we're just under the 2-hour mark. Yeah, it was easier when John joined and told us all about the Connecticut prison. But to be honest with you guys, I think I'm gonna call it early there. This has been fun though, and I always appreciate you guys stopping by. Drop a like if you haven't already, please. I need it. I'm a small channel who, has been lazy lately, so I haven't really been making videos. But keep an eye out for my broadcast video. I think that'll be a fun one. Hope it'll be good. PK said, see you, have a good night. You guys have a good night too. We got a whole week ahead of us. Monday is one day. Kick ass tomorrow, kick ass on Wednesday, Thursday as well. Might have a date on the books on Saturday, provided the girl doesn't flake. And yeah, so we'll see how it all transpires. Giants will probably lose this week, but we're not talking about them right now. I'm just gonna ignore it. But thanks again for joining, guys. It's always a fun time hanging out. And we will give us the Jets vid. I know, seriously, I've been talking about the Jets vid for so long, but the Jets keep winning. They keep winning. So I can't catch the right time. I can't catch it. YouTube is all timing, especially when you're a small channel. They keep winning. I need a catastrophic Jets loss to talk about why they need to relocate. But the Jets vid will not, it will be made. The Jets vid will be made. This is the same thing happened with the Drake May video. Some dude kept pestering me. Make the Drake May video. When's the Drake May video come out? When's the Drake May video coming out? And then I made it and it was sick. The Jets video will be made. I promise you that, Lorenzo. Got all hot there. Anyways, but that's the night. Broadcast video, 9 video, Jets video. I'm gonna write it all down. But yeah, guys, you guys have been sick. I appreciate you. We're well past the midseason awards. I realized I should have done that. I just looked at my notes and said midseason awards. Well, we're well past that. Midseason MVP is Russ Wilson. Anyways, you guys have a sick rest of your week, and watch my videos if you're bored. Drop a like if you haven't already. Hunnaball.